welcome back everyone, and here's a compressor that we're going to talk about here now. And this is a little bigger unit. It's what we call a wheelbarrow style, only because you can wheel it around with the wheel in the front. This size compressor here is a great unit if you were doing your roof with roofing nailers, or you were doing using a spiker nailer to put a fence up and all the boards, and you have a little bigger nailer to drive the nails in, because this will give you consistent air, and then you won't have to wait as much for the compressor to catch up, particularly because it's got a gas engine on it as opposed to an electric motor. They also come, of course, with an electric motor. They don't replace the air in the tanks quite as quickly, because it might only have a single head compressor. This is what we call the head, and it has two heads on this particular compressor, so it's generating compressed air that much quicker and filling the tanks. Now, you would start the engine and wait for the engine to kick off. It'll slow down, and then you'll know you're up to pressure, because you've got two gauges, like a number of compressors. You've got one for the tank, so you know how much air pressure is in the tank, and you have a regulator on there to set the pressure that you need for whatever you're doing. Now, don't forget, if you're going to get one of these to blow out your water system, they're usually 60-65 psi water pressure in your pipes, so don't go setting it to 120 in high pressure and start blowing things apart in your water line. So be aware of that. And but the biggest thing with blowing out water lines is you need consistent air pressure. And sometimes when you deplete the air out of the tanks, you got to wait for it to build up before you can shoot it again, unless you're using a much larger compressor that's consistent air. But probably somewhere around 60-65 psi. If you're using some air tools, it's probably going to get up to 80 or 100 psi, and set it in accordance to the manufacturer's specs on the equipment that you're trying to use the compressor for. So this is nice because it's portable. It's got two ports to take two hoses off of it. If you were running a couple of air guns, you've got enough volume here. You got about 14-15 cubic feet of air to run. On your air tools, they'll tell you how many cubic feet of air you need to run particular air tools. But a good size unit, gas engine, maybe run 3 or 4 hours. This will come on, and the engine will only come on to high speed when it needs to fill up the tanks as they're being depleted, and then it'll kick off when the pressure's up to what it's set at on the regulator, but also on the tank volume. So again, remember, particularly on hot, humid days in the summer, you've got two drains on the bottom of these tanks. A good idea is at the end of the day, or if it's a very hot, humid day, even halfway through the day, is open up your valves on the bottom, maybe put a piece of wood under the front end, and let them drain out. Because don't forget, the compressed air byproduct again is water vapor, and you want to drain that out of your tanks all the time. You don't want to keep leaving it in there. And this goes for any compressor, even the big toe-behind compressors. You get water vapor, and that's usually not a friend of your air tools, usually not a friend of what you're doing. So particularly if you're using some kind of small sandblaster attachment, some of the small guns you can run off of this size compressor. But again, if you don't have a moisture separator between it, you can start getting water into your sand, and that's not good for sandblasting. So keep it drained off if you're going to use that, or any other attachments, blow guns, filling your air in your tires. Again, any accessory items like wheelbarrows that you're going to keep filling up, you'll find that this size of compressor is ideal. Good for blowing out your sprinkler systems, small trailers, even camper trailers. If you have water systems on there and you want to blow the water lines out, you get some consistent air pressure there, so you get the water out of your system. So there's something else that you could consider for your jobs, and don't forget to subscribe.